Greetings everyone and welcome back to bannersonthewall.wordpress.com for this Building the Herd where we look at the return to Basingstoke of Liam Morris. The 2021-22 Banners on the Wall Player of the Year is back for another season in Hampshire. And we have to kind of balance out, at least for me putting this together, I have to balance out two things. There's what I want and probably what we're going to get. What I want is I want Liam Morris as a forward. Now, I bang on about this a lot, and given that this is my site and you've taken the opportunity to listen to this, I'm going to say it again. Liam Morris is a better forward than he's a defenseman. Now, one of the reasons why Liam Morris ended up as the BOTW Player of the Year for the 21-22 season was because he will do anything. Liam Morris is a team player's team player. This is a guy who has sacrificed points and numbers because in this national division, I think if you played him on a team where you played him in his natural best position, which for me is probably at centre, he would be scoring 20, 30, 40 points a campaign. Instead, he's done what the team needed him to do, which was play on D. 45 games in the league last year, 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists, 3 goals from 6 playoff, 3 points from 6 playoff games. And that's why everybody loves Liam. Liam will do anything. He will go anywhere, do any job, ruffle any feather, get in any face. I've waxed lyrical on a variety of different mediums, including my own, about how much I love former EPL title-winning forward Alan Lack, because Alan Lack, for me, is the player that every team needs. And we have an Alan Lack in Liam Morris. We have a guy who is literally prepared to do anything. Will fight anybody, even though he's not the best of fighters, although 114 penalty minutes says he's definitely doing something with his time out there. But for me, we need Liam Morris as a forward. Now, the Herd's defence currently, as it stands, given what's announced, is currently non-existent. We don't have any defensemen announced currently. Even if you include Morris in that number, Morris as a utility player doesn't technically count as a D-man. So the fact that he's back means there's at least somebody back there now to help defend Jordan Lauday and Alex Meta. And Morris can play D. He's actually relatively capable. And over the last couple of years where he's been called more and more into playing in that position, he's genuinely gotten better at it. Because of course he has, because that's where he spent the majority of his time. He's gotten the idea of the positioning better. He's locked into some of those little things that you don't do when you're a forward. But he's not lost that ability to just see the gap and plow through it and run into it. And when Liam Morris gets going, he gets going. You know, it's on the Bison social media feeds. When the Mo train is a running, you will get run through. And it's great fun. And if Liam Morris is destined to be a defenseman, then that's what it is. None of us pick the team. None of us coach the team. None of us know where the holes are. And that's why I said about what I want versus what I think we're going to get. Because what I want Liam Morris as a top six forward on this team, because I think he's actually so much better suited. And now we've lost Tate to retirement and we've lost Harding to Bristol. We have no centres, and we're about to play a natural centre on D. And for me, it's one of those things that sort of slightly grates on me a little bit. Because I'm a massive ego. I have a massive ego about such things, and I know what I like, and I like what I know. The trick here is that the best players have this level of adaptability. From a Basingstoke perspective, Tony Redmond started as a forward, ended up as a D. One of my favourite players of all time, Sergei Fedorov. As a Washington Capitals fan, I never got Fedorov in his pomp as a forward like he was in Detroit. I got Fedorov, the secondary forward, sometimes defenseman for the Capitals. And Fedorov scored one of my favourite goals of all time in round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the New York Rangers. And this ultimately is what I talk about what we're getting. What I want is fine, and what I want is great, and Liam Morris as a forward would probably make a lot of us really, really happy. What we're getting is arguably a bit more than this, because we need that flexibility, that ability to not just, it's not just a case of Morris wanting to do everything. I'll do everything I can to help the team, coach. Cool. So will a lot of guys. But the ability to actually do it. You think of the other people we talked about in the build-up as we're building this. Now, admittedly, I think it'd be hilarious to watch Alex Metam and Jordan Lauday play up front, but it's not a very good idea. George Norcliffe, I'm sure if you asked him, he'd do anything. If something went wrong, George would go in goal. It's not a good idea. Zach Milton, Aidan Doughty on D, terrible idea. But Mo can do it. And actually, what I want isn't what we need. What we need is a guy who won't just, like I say, he won't just do everything, but he can do it. It's not just saying, "Oh, go on D, coach, because we're short." It's going on D because he can go on D because it's the right thing. I'll play on the wing tonight. Great. He'll go and do it. If we're short of guys, Tate will shuffle things around and Mo will go on the wing. I need someone to take face-offs. He can do it. He's a multi-tool player in a league where guys play roles. I'm pretty sure, that teams would have spoken to Liam Morris in this off-season, because why wouldn't you? I know a lot of people don't like Liam around the league. He gets in people's faces, he ruffles feathers, but we talk about those players. I talk about Alan Lack. We think of those people. Well, you hate them when they play for you. You hate them when they play against you, sorry, but you'd love them if they play for you. Edgar's Bebris. Sam Bullis, people like that. Liam fits into that category. And what we're seeing, and what we've seen out of him the last couple of years, has been everything we needed. I've talked a lot in the last couple of pieces for Doughty, for Milton, for Norcliffe, about what we need out of them. Well, that little bit extra we need from them to make this Bison roster good. We don't need Morris to do any more, because he kind of already does everything. What we need him to do is just to do it. Bannersonthewall.wordpress.com, your number one source for everything related to the Bison. At BannersOTW on Twitter. We'll do a What's Current stream soon to kind of go over bits and pieces. Time and life has gotten the better of me. But we'll be here. As for the Bison, I'm informed to stay tuned. There's a fair bit of news coming in the immediacy. Haven't forgotten about Elliot Dewey. Haven't forgotten about Ollie Stone. Haven't forgotten about Elliot Lewis either. There'll be a good night and good luck coming for those guys eventually. Stick with us. As ever, this is Anthony Russell saying stay safe. And so long till next time.